As someone who's always been an anxious person in relationships, I tend to be very critical of myself and beat myself up a lot because usually when relationships end, it's because of the way that I showed up. It's the way that I became jealous. It's the way that I became overbearing and clingy in relationships. In today's video, I want to give myself a little bit of grace, and I want to give you guys, if you are an anxious preoccupied, a little bit of grace. And I'm going to tell you 5 loving qualities that we actually possess. Thank you for sticking around. If it's your first time viewing me, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. For those of you who are already subscribed, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 loving qualities of the anxious preoccupied person because I feel we get a bad rep for being anxious, for being overbearing in relationships, and for our fear of abandonment wound taking over us and hijacking us. But I'm going to talk about the things that we do bring to the table when it comes to being in a relationship with someone who is an anxious preoccupied. The first one is they are flexible in relationships, meaning they are very open-minded. They're kind of like chameleons and are willing to make the other person feel safe by doing the things that they would like to do, the things that they prefer. And this can lead down a very slippery slope here because often we give up ourselves to be more of what the other person needs us to be. But that is kind of a quality that is a positive, because one thing that people are afraid to do in relationships is try new things, be open-minded. But for the anxious preoccupied, because we do have that people pleasy type mentality, we can be very fun to be with. We can be someone that is very charismatic and easygoing in that relationship. I want you guys to humor me here. I want you to think about one of your friends or your family members, or even someone that you've dated in the past that has an anxious preoccupied attachment style. I'm assuming that they're very fun to be around and they're always down to do something, and they're not very rigid about the way that they act. I'm assuming that they make very good friends, and that's going to lead me to my next one, which is number 2, which is they're very loyal people. In relationships, anxious preoccupied people are very loyal when things are going right, when things are healthy, and when things are functional. Now, we could talk another day about just how things can turn unhealthy when they're not getting their needs met. But for the most part, when it's a healthy and thriving relationship and friendship, the anxious preoccupied people are very loyal, which means they may find other people attractive, but you know that they're probably not going to step out on you because they're so scared to do anything to sabotage or blow up the connection that you guys have. Now, I've seen arguments where people say that anxious preoccupied are more likely to cheat, but I see that leaning more towards the people who are narcissistic and the people that have a hard time being content with themselves. Now, this isn't a math problem, so I can see that there could be anxious preoccupied people that are cheaters and people who run around and get validation and attention from other people. But for the vast majority of the people that I know and the people that I've coached as an anxious preoccupied, they are very loyal to the person that they're with, almost to a fault where they can end up being in relationships way longer than they should. Relationships that should have been ended a long time ago because it's such an unhealthy and dysfunctional environment or situation that they still continue to stick with them, and to the point where they have such low self-esteem and low sense of self-worth in the end of that relationship. The third loving quality that an anxious preoccupied bring to the table is they have a higher sense of emotional intelligence. Anxious preoccupied people are very good at picking up on other people's vibes and picking up on how they're feeling, their moods. Sometimes it can be a little bit of anxiety where they kind of misread a person's vibe, but for the most part, they're usually pretty accurate with understanding where a person's at. Like, let's say, for example, a person has just gotten terminated from their job. They can be really good at picking up on what a person's going to be feeling and going through throughout that experience, which means they're actually good at sitting with that person's experience. This is why I make them very good communicators when it comes to being friends with you and when it comes to resolving issues and being down to do whatever it takes to make the relationship work. Number 4, they tend to be really good nurturers. Like I said before, because they have this higher sense of emotional intelligence, they're really good at picking up on what a person's feeling and what they need and require from them. As anxious people, though, we often project that same expectations on other people, not realizing that they may not be able to do the same as us with with picking up on people's vibes and picking up on where a person is at. And number 5, which I feel like is the most important, in order to have a relationship that feels like a safe environment to be in, you have to be able to reassure your partner that, you're not going anywhere, you're not abandoning them, and then it's okay to have hurt feelings and hurt emotions and talk through these things. This is one of the things that anxious people actually struggle with the most when it comes with, finding that reassurance for themselves. They're very good at giving that reassurance for their partner because they know what it feels like to be feeling like you're about to be abandoned or like someone has bad blood or have bad feelings towards you. So if you found this video of any value, please like, comment, and share. You can reach out to me, my other social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, is I am Coach Court. And always remember, when you go be loved, you'll never have to find it. Namaste.